All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. At what point are people going to say and are people going to acknowledge that the people ruling this world don't know what the hell they're doing, man? All right? That's what this video is going to be talking about. At what point are people going to say, you know what? This society that we live in is wicked, and these people that are in charge are lunatics and they don't know what they're talking about. They're hypocrites, right? They tell us to do something, but then they don't do it themselves. Here's an example. When the lockdown came, right, they was telling everybody to stay in their houses, not to do this, not to do that, right? Don't throw parties and all of this stuff. But then what did it turn out that they was doing? Having parties, doing flipping ballroom dancing in the office, right? Dancing the night away, drinking, doing all the things that they was telling us not to do, right? But then they're doing it themselves. As if a real disease was there, right? That it would care whether you work for one company or whether you not. As if it would care whether you're high up in society or low in society. It wouldn't care. It wouldn't know the difference, right? And that's why everyone knows and everyone believes that it's got any wisdom anyway, that it was some BS. But let me go into this anyway. This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So this society, just like all societies before it, right, that ended up going astray at some point in time, is going to be passed on to another people. And who's the people it's going to be passed on to? The Israelites. The Israelites are going to get the new rulership, but the new kingdom that's being set up after this one is not going to fall because it's going to be based on righteousness. It's going to be based on the laws of God. Whereas this society is definitely not based on the laws of God. In fact, this current rulership and this current kingdom, if you can even call it that, right, is based on doing the complete opposite of what the scriptures say. So let me get an example. Let's get an example, man. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination, they shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. Now, this society actually rewards you for doing that and makes you damn near immune to receiving any kind of judgment, man. You're not even if you commit a crime, they'll take into account that you're of that nature and have more mercy upon you. But they're not supposed to do that, right? They're not supposed to do that, man. Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5, the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto Yahweh. Now again, this society has actually made those people be immune to judgment, and then people receive more mercy, even if they commit a crime, right? Whereas true judgment is not meant to be like that, right? You're not supposed to say, oh, well, this person committed a murder, but it's his first offense. So this person gets a different judgment to somebody else that did some other crimes before that, but then they also committed murder. No, if you are a murderer, the judgment's supposed to be the same. Whereas in this society, they're trying to say, oh, you have to take into account this, you have to take into account that. That's dumb. That's wicked. Judgment's supposed to be the same no matter whether you're high up in society or whether you're low down in society. It's supposed to be the same judgment for everyone. Whereas in this world, people that commit crimes that might have a father that's a president or a father that's a prime minister, they end up being able to weasel their way out of it. Whereas if we commit the same crime, we're done for. And even in some cases, if we don't commit the crime, we're still looked at as though we're guilty, man. That's how it is for us in this world, especially being Israelite men. We're already looked at as being guilty in this world, man. It's like we're born guilty and are always having to plead our innocence, man. This society that we're living in right now, right, is wicked, man. Straight up. Now let's get some more scriptures. Let's get some more. Because when is it going to be that people are going to say, you know what, man? This society that we're living in is wicked, and these people in charge don't know what the hell they're talking about, man. These people in charge are telling us one thing, but then when we look at how they live, they're doing the complete opposite of what they're trying to tell us to do. So if the way that we're supposed to live is according to the way that they're telling us, then why aren't they doing it themselves? This is Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Now, the people that are in charge right now are clearly wicked because the people are mourning, right? You've got podcast after podcast going in onto this wicked world. You've got people talking about secret things going on behind the scenes, right? You've got people talking about how the Hollywood is demonic. You've got people talking about how the music industry, they're doing a whole bunch of dodgy things in the music industry to get rich. You've got people that have got a whole lot of things to say about all the different aspects of things that are going on in this world. So when is it that people are going to say, you know what? The people that are ruling this world are wicked, right? And we need to not have them in charge and actually start thinking of how it's going to be that these people are not going to be in charge, man. And the only way that it's going to come to pass is through God, through his son, Yahweh Shai, right? It's not through raising up and thinking that you're strong and tough. That's not going to work because God gave them the power to rule this earth by the power of the sword right now, and only He can take them down and He's going to take them down through His Son Yahweh Shai. This is Isaiah chapter 14. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3. And it shall come to pass in a day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? Yahweh have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth, right? So that's how Esau's ruled this world, right? He's ruled it with a continuous stroke. He's with a wrath. He's ruled it with wrath with a continuous stroke, man, right? And he's ruled the nations in anger, right? When he sees that there's a country in the world that's trying to live more according to the laws of God, right? He'll go over there and he'll try and manipulate them and force them through fear, through the sword, to commit sin against God. So if he finds out that there's a country that's not with that alphabet and rainbow community, right? He'll go over there and try and find a way to force them to make that be part of their laws. But why is he doing that? If they're meant to be a nation that says, in God we trust. So who's their God? Because it definitely ain't the God of the Bible. Sounds more like it's Satan to me and the devil. That's who it sounds like their God is. Because it's obviously not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because Esau was never under the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Even though Abraham is his forefather, Isaac is his forefather, right? But God never gave it unto him. God never gave it unto him. His spirit when he was made was the complete opposite of Jacob's spirit. Let's get it. Let's prove that. Right? An Edomite is the complete opposite of an Israelite in every single way. And that's why when they was first born, even their appearances was of the complete opposite, man. Jacob was of a dark-skinned and Esau was of a pale. And people don't have to believe that if they don't want to. Who cares what you people believe, man? The evidence is in what you people do. And then after times went by, now there's Israelites and Edomites of both different shades of skin. Yet the works are still wicked within the Edomites that have the dark skin anyway, proving that it's nothing to do with color. It's to do with you Edomites have got a wicked spirit within you, and it wouldn't matter if you was dark as Wesley Snipes, you'd still be wicked. And that's why the Edomites from among you that look like us are still wicked. Just because they look like us, they're not righteous. How do we prove that? Well, Herod, right? He looked like an Israelite, but he tried to kill Yahweh Shai. He was a Tear. His mother was from the Hasmonean dynasty or the Maccabees, right? And he tried to kill Yahweh Shai. And all of his descendants after that, all the Herodians, they were wicked too. Pretending to be about the laws, but never following them. Even though they was in charge and in rulership at the time and had the power and the finances to enact these things. Genesis chapter 25 and verse 22, and the children, and verse 21, and Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him, And Rebekah, his wife, conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. So these two babies in the womb were completely different, man. 2 completely different people separated from within the womb. And the pain that she was feeling was from them fighting. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that his brother came out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years old when she bare them. So there were 2 different people, man. Verse 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And that's why, as you can see today, man, who loves to go hunting all the time, man? Who's always got these stuffed animals on their wall? It definitely ain't us. Definitely ain't the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. It ain't us, the Israelites. It's these Edomites, man. They love hunting, killing lions, and then standing with their foot on the lion, right, with their rifle in their hand. They love doing that. Whereas we just be chilling, man. We like to relax. We ain't got time to be going on them Bear Grylls, Bush Tucker trials and all that. We ain't got time for all that. We don't do them kind of things, man. Now that ain't to say that there ain't no Israelites that go out and would find any kind of enjoyment in hunting an animal that they're gonna eat, right? But Esau will go out and hunt an animal just to kill it, just to say, see, I have power over these beasts of the field. Like, he'll just do it for that reason. He ain't doing it because he wants to eat the animal. He's just going out because he wants to kill something. That's all he'll do hunting for killing, not for, oh, I'm hungry. And I know that if I hunt an animal, then that's actually more honorable than me just buying it from a packet in the supermarket. You Edomites are weirdos, man. Right? And for all you scoffing that you say about how us, we're bad and we're this and we're that, right? When has it ever been true what you people have said about us? When has it ever been true on a mass scale what you Edomites have ever said about us? When you said that so-called black people would not be good enough to play in basketball, that used to be one of the things you said. That turned out to be way off because we run that sport now. Without black people, as this term goes of calling us that, without Israelites, there wouldn't be no NBA. So all the other people that are making money from the NBA league, there wouldn't be none. Because nobody don't want to just watch no Edomites take part in sports. They don't want to do that. And that's why any of these other leagues ain't really got it like that. The NBA is the most popular basketball league, man, because it's where most of the Israelites are. And if all the Israelites went over to play in the Chinese basketball league, the CBA or whatever it's called, right, then that's where all the attention would go. And that's why the NBA basketball players are paid the most. Then you've said that we wouldn't be good at boxing. That was clearly not true. And Jack, even still now to this day, no one's got footage of Jack Johnson winning the heavyweight title and being the first Israelite man to win the heavyweight title because you devils cut the camera footage. So when has it ever been true what you people have said about us? When? You said in 1867, you used to make articles saying that we're monkeys that got onto the ark as animals that can mimic human sounds, like what a parrot can do, pretty much, right? That didn't turn out to be true, did it? Because then later on you said, no, actually, we're not animals, we're Africans. But that wasn't true either. Then you said, oh no, they're not Africans, they're Negroes. Oh, that's not true. Then you said, oh no, they're not Negroes, they're colored, and that's not true. Then you said, no, they're not colored, they're black, and that's not true. Then you said, no, they're not black, they're African American, and that's not true either. We're Israelites. So when has it ever been true what you people have said about us? When? You've said we commit most of the crimes, right? But then when we look at what your presidents do and what the people in power do among you people, then we're seeing actually you people are the devil. You've said that we're committing all this crime and that we're lying about the police brutality and all of these things, right? But then when you've seen the footage and the body cameras that now get worn by police officers, you find out and you understand that these police officers like to hurt us. And that if it's based on who's committing crime, then they should be looking at the people that look like them. to try and be catching people committing crime because they commit the most. Simple as that. But really, it's just because you hate our guts and because you're envious of us. And we know this because the scriptures tell us is we're not going to get the truth out of you. We'd have to be a fly on the wall to really find out what you people are up to. You know what I mean? To really see the true evidence. But it's all right because Yahweh saw the evidence. Yahweh knows what you devils are up to anyway. Let me get this. This is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Now let me jump down where it goes into the envy. Verse 11. Ezekiel 35 and verse 11. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, right? Which thou hast used out of the hatred against them. So they're envious of us, really. Now, most of these Edomites, they don't even know the actual biblical and scripture understanding of why they hate our guts, but they just don't like us because they're envious of us, man. They say, right, they used to say that our image and our facial features are ugly, right? But there's people right now that will spend £500 a month to keep getting their lips filled so that their lips can look the size of mine. Or so that their lips can look the size of any other brother out there's lips. Right? There's people that would do that. But I thought big lips was ugly though. When people are doing bodybuilding competitions, right? They put fake tan on their body so that their body can look, in some cases, the same shade as my shade, or a bit lighter, or a bit darker. But you don't see the dark-skinned bodybuilders put things on their skin to make their skin lighter for the purpose of bodybuilding, so that their muscles can look fuller and all of this. Now, you have to understand it. Why is it that muscles, right, look better when your skin's darker? Why? Why is it that no matter what anybody wants to talk about, that muscles look better on darker skin tone? Why? If being pale is the righteous way. Why is it that when people's skin gets, when even an Edomite skin gets darker, that they are happy? Why is that? Why is that? Why is it that they don't get happier when their skin gets lighter? As a Caucasian person, they don't do that. They start thinking saying among each other that they look sick. And you can go and say, oh, some black women make their skin pale and all of that. Fair enough, right? But then women have got mental health problems. You people shouldn't be trying to be like us when we're not in power. Of course, there's going to be some people that are going to try and copy who's in charge. But you people that are in charge shouldn't be trying to be like us when we're nothing, right? If we're just monkeys, your children shouldn't be trying to listen to our rap music and try and copy what we do, should they? If we're just what you say we are. But it's obviously not true, is it? When has it ever been true what you people have said about us? It's never been true. It's always been lies, man. And that's another way how we know that you people are not really supposed to be in charge, because you're always having to lie. If someone's really supposed to be in charge, excuse me, if someone's really supposed to be in charge, they wouldn't have to lie all the time, right? They wouldn't have to lie about what they're doing and what's going on. They would just be able to tell the truth. They wouldn't have to try and lie and say, no, we're not in charge, where everyone's equal. They wouldn't have to lie. They'd say we are in charge because God gave us the rulership. That's what we're going to be saying. Mate, if I'm of the elect, man, and Yahweh decides to give me a portion of the kingdom, man, I'm not going to be scared to tell you heathens nothing. I'm in charge. And I ain't scared. I ain't backing down. That's what we're going to be like. I ain't scared to say we're going to... Let me get the prophecy, man. Let me get the prophecy. We ain't going to be scared to tell none of you people that we're in charge. Like how you wish people over there in the land of Israel are trying to lie and say we ain't the richest. If you're the chosen, Shouldn't you be saying that we've got all of this stuff because we're the chosen? You shouldn't be lying. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. We ain't going to be hiding. The nations are going to come to learn from us, man. Which, if those people in the land of Israel are really the chosen, right? Well, then people should be going to them, and we should be too, since we're just Hamites according to everybody else, right? We shouldn't be the ones that have been able to bring out what the Bible's really talking about. And now that we've started talking about the curses of Deuteronomy, now everybody else is talking about them, right? Now that we started talking about prophecy, oh, now everybody else realized that that's something that he's supposed to be speaking about, right? Now that we started talking about Esau, now everybody else all of a sudden wants to talk about Esau. Now that we started talking about the book of Obadiah, now all of a sudden people want to talk about the book of Obadiah. Now that we started talking about who the 12 tribes are as Israelites, now all of a sudden everybody else thinks that that's worthy to mention. Now that we started mentioning who the 144,000 really are, and that the Bible actually says that they're Israelites, and that the Bible actually says that the great multitude are Israelites too, right? When you look up the words in the Greek, you find out the understanding. Now all of a sudden everybody else wants to start talking about it, and now everybody else wants to start calling scriptures and reading them. And everybody all of a sudden wants to start doing live streams and going into the Bible, but they never used to do that before. They never felt that the internet was something to be used until the apostles and their teachers started going into these things. They didn't used to do that, but they won't admit that they're copying it, and they won't admit the reason why they're copying it, because we're the chosen. So what we do, everybody else copies it, man. Anyway, back to this verse 3. And many people shall and many people shall go and say, Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 3, and many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. So we're going to be making sure there ain't no more war going on in the world. Nation shall lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Now, isn't this what the chosen are supposed to be doing? So those people in the land of Israel, are they the chosen? Because if they are, how comes they ain't fulfilled this prophecy then? Since they're supposed to be in the land of Israel right now as the final time. That's what everyone's trying to say, right? They've fulfilled Ezekiel 36, right? That's what people are trying to say, huh? People try and say they fulfilled Ezekiel 36. Well, let's look up one of the things that it says in Ezekiel 36, since people want to try and say that, right? Because there's a prophecy in Ezekiel 36 that says that the land of Israel is going to become like the Garden of Eden. Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 35, and they shall say, this land was desolate. This land that was desolate is become like the Garden of Eden. And the waste and desolate and ruined cities are become fenced and are inhabited. Now, is that what they are saying in the land of Israel right now? No, it's not. In fact, they actually shook and scared of those Ishmaelites, man. They're terrified of those Ishmaelites, and they're going back and forth with them Ishmaelites over there. So they're not the chosen, man. Those people over there are not the chosen. They're not, right? Let's just be real, man. They're not the chosen. So who are they then? Amalek and the Edomites, that's who they are. And if you start talking about these people straight up too much, then why does the video get taken down? If they're supposed to be so oppressed and hard done by, how comes they've got their power to do that then? Exactly. Verse 36, then the heathen that are round about you shall know that Yahweh build the ruined places and plant that was desolate. I, Yahweh, have spoken it and will do it. Now, has he done it? Has he done it for them? No. Why? Because they're not the people that are going to fulfill that prophecy. We are. We are, man. And everybody in this world knows that if we get built up, will be a much bigger surprise for the whole world than if they get built up. Or if they was to be in some kind of power, it would be way more of a shock to everyone's system for us to be the chosen than for anybody else. And that's the proof that we are. We'd be more likely to be the people that are going to be built up from ruins than anybody else, because we're the lowest right now. But there's a reason for why we're the lowest, because we're cursed. Because it's not because we're stupid. It's not because we're dumb. It's not because we don't have something about us that people want to follow us. We do. We do have something about us that people want to follow us. People are always trying to copy and desire what we do. From the lowest form of things that we do to the highest, to where even women copy the whorish things that our women do, man. Which that's not something to boast about. But I'm just making a point, man. Our women want to jump around, shaking their battery crease all up in the screen. Now every other one wants to be a video vixens and doing all that stuff too. Now every other one wants to be able to twerk, and they're doing twerk classes and all of that because they're trying to copy what our women have did. And that's a folly and a wickedness that they still want to copy. Like, when are people going to realize, man, that the people in charge right now, right, are evil? Like, when are people going to realize that the people in charge don't really stand for what they say, and that they're about some wickedness, man? When are you people going to realize that? When are you going to stop pretending like these people are righteous and realize that these people worship the devil? And that's why they're making it legal for them to have clothes in the stores that speak on about worshiping the devil, man. You think they're joking with that? Psalm chapter 15, verse 16, but unto the wicked, Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Since they like to talk about the Bible all the time. You've got all these Christians that talk about the Bible all the time, right? But then they say the law's done away with, which the law is the whole moral code of what we're supposed to do. So why would God get rid of that when that's the reason why he punished the Israelites? Why would he get rid of that when that's the whole reason why he sent the Messiah to die for their sins? So getting rid of the law would be stupid, because in that case, then he may as well have just never punished the Israelites if he knew he was going to get rid of the law. It doesn't make any sense what these people say, because it don't make sense, because it's not true, because they're liars. Verse 17, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. So what's the point of these Christians, right? And these presidents and all these Edomites that are trying to get in power and try and mention in God we trust and all that, God bless and all this, right? But when they start hearing about the laws, then they don't trying to hear that. They're trying to say, oh, that was back in Bible times. Oh, so you're saying that you're going to have to wear mixed fabrics. Well, yeah, we're supposed to, right? We're supposed to. It's actually more beneficial for the skin and for the mindset if you study these things, and if you looked it up even briefly. I know some elders have did videos on that. And it's actually better for the body to have that. Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. When thou sawest the thief, then thou consentest with him, and it's being partaker with adulterers, because they love some adultery, man. Esau loves them some adultery. They love that, right? That's one of the things that they use to get people in their Hollywood system, in their movie system, man. That's one of the things that they use on people, man. They like to commit adultery with other men's wives, man, as part of deals and stuff like that. That's what they use to say, you know what, you want to be in business with me, all right, let me commit adultery with your wife. And they even make movies about that, man. Verse 18, when thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him and is being partaker with adulterers. When a woman commits adultery in this world, or when a man commits adultery in this world, right, according to what the Bible says, that judgment doesn't get done in this world. In fact, in this world, a woman can commit an adultery on her husband and then divorce him and get half his stuff, and he's got to get kicked out of his own house. That's what this world does. Verse 19, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Now, hasn't there been a guy out there now saying that with AI, we're going to be able to write our real Bible that's actually really came from a supernatural intelligence, whereas all the other Bibles didn't, right? As if he was there. This man isn't even 70 years old, trying to talk like he's saw so much, right? And the thing that's a joke about this guy, this Harari guy, whatever his name is, Harari, right? The thing that's a joke about this guy is he's supposed to be at one of the chosen, according to what people in this world say, right? He's from the land of Israel, right? So why is he talking like that against God if he's one of the chosen? When has any Israelite before did that and said we're gonna write our own Bible? They just used to, any Israelite that you read about in the scriptures that used to be wicked, they just didn't used to not follow what the Bible says. They never said we're gonna write our own one and fact check it. So these people clearly are not of the Lord, man. They're not. Verse 20, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. Psalm 50 and 20 again. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. And who's that they're slandering us, man? They got a whole bunch of stuff to say against us, right? They've put us in the forefront as being wicked, as being monsters. But then everything that they say about what we do, they do it. So they say that we're thugs in the hood and that we're doing black on black crime, right? But they're doing Edomite on Edomite crime at a way higher scale, man. What's happening right now in Russia and Ukraine? Is that not two people of the same race going against each other, killing each other and slaughtering each other? So that's way worse than what's happening in Chicago, right? Because of that stuff going on, that caused for a whole pipeline underneath the ground to be blown up, right? Whereas the thing that's happening in the hood, they can just turn off everyone's water supply easily. That's nothing. They could handle that real quick if they wanted to, with the same armies that they're using against everybody else, against each other. In fact, they could really shut down that Chicago, Chirac, all that with them same armies that they're using. But they don't care about that because they're like that. So everything that you see, our people doing that's wicked right now, since we've been under the rulership of these people, where the wicked of our people are like a mini-me of them. We copy the same wickedness that they do. So we're thugs, but they're thugs. We're in gangs, but they're gangster. Yeah? They're way worse than us. We're drug dealers, if you want to say that, but they're drug dealers. In fact, one of their drugs, right, caused for the whole world to be shut down. How much more a bigger drug dealer can you be than that? So for any of the things that you people want to say about us, you better look at yourself in the mirror too and see how you're living. How are you living life? You got all this to say about us. How are you living? Are you doing the things that God said? All you Christians out there that want to try and say, oh, the Israelites are so wicked, they didn't believe and all of this, right? Well, how about the Israelites that did believe and that kept the laws as well and believes in Yahushua? Are you Christians better than them? No, you're not. No, you're not, man. Are any of you heathen nations better than any of the disciples of Yahushua? No, you're not. Because they kept Yahweh's laws, right? And they believed in Yahushua. So why would God throw the whole nation of Israel away for the sake of those remnant that always believed in the Lord? And when has everyone on the earth, right? When has God ever loved everybody on the earth? Or when has God ever treated everybody on the earth equal? In the time of Noah, they wasn't all treated equal. In the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, they wasn't all treated equal. In the time of when Jacob had children, they wasn't all treated equal. 12 of them became tribes. One of them was just Jacob's daughter, right?